What are some of the ways that we're getting exposed to these microplastics? Is it all from food, or is it? I mean, I've read some articles where we're breathing this because it escapes in our house, so it gets in our ventilation system. So it's basically everywhere. But what's the number one way that we're getting these microplastics in our bodies?
So there's three ways any pollutant can get into our body. That's through our skin, through our food, or we breathe it in. That's pretty much the only route for anything to get into us. Through our skin, there's not been any evidence that the microplastics are penetrating the skin cells. So we are covered in them. There's been work that's looked at, brushing out people's hair and seeing how many are in their hair every day, and seeing that they are just being rained down from the air onto them. But in terms of human health, that's probably not a huge impact. The two impacts are breathing in and eating them. A lot of it has to do with our packaging, as I said. So with our food, there are three ways that it's always three, three ways the microplastics can get into our food: either the soil or the food stock for meat, or the soil where the vegetables are growing. They have microplastics in. So in Europe, we put sewage sludge onto land as a fertilizer. And of course, there's a lot of microplastics in that. So we're spreading the microplastics all over our food, unfortunately. So they can get into the vegetables that way. So there's microplastics in the things we eat.
Yeah.
But then we cover them in plastic packaging. And the plastic packaging itself, there are pros and cons in terms of climate change and things. But particularly anything that we microwave in or put in the oven, these plastic bags, you can buy vegetables. So, you think you're being really healthy. You buy some carrots and broccoli in a bag, you pierce them with a fork, you stick them in the microwave. Unfortunately, it's the heating from the microwave really produces quite a lot of microplastics, and they fall onto your food. So you've got it in your food and now on your food. And then if you're having cold food, you're having a buffet, you've got friends around, you've got snacks, there's microplastics in the air and they're falling onto your food. So there's all these different ways that you can eat them. And then, of course, because it's in the air, you're constantly breathing them in. Outside is actually better because you've got a lot of air, so they're quite dilute. There's not that many out there, but you are breathing them in outside. But in our house, if you have maybe a nylon carpet or a polypropylene carpet, if your sofas are fabric, most of those are polyester. A lot of clothing is polyester. So you're right next to the source. So you're literally, if you're wearing a fleece, for example, they are very bad at releasing fibers, and therefore you'll be likely to be breathing them in and eating those constantly throughout the day.